What up? Another edition of Money Groove Band Reaction. Today, man, we're gonna check out what's going on with Miss.Valley State University band attending the inauguration for Donald Trump. See what these folks talking about, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Let's get into it, 'cause I'm trying to see what's going on too. So let's get into it.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself. It's the difference.
So Miss.Valley State Marching Band has been invited to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration, and as right on cue, a lot of black folk are upset. But this ain't the first time HBCU College has been invited to an inauguration, and people got upset about it. Let's see, a little video. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Where is it? Do y'all remember this here?
The tornadoes are in the.
Let's not go into much on Omarosa, but let's watch the video.
It's Talladega.
They made it. The Talladega Tornadoes marching band has arrived in Washington. The band from the historically black Talladega College in Alabama came under fire when they accepted the invitation to march in President-elect Trump's inauguration parade.
You got a lot of flack when you decided you were going to continue with this parade. Why?
Well, I've gotten a lot of flack. I've got, threats on me.
But college president Dr. Billy Hawkins stood firm.
These young people are American citizens, and they deserve the right to be here.
A familiar face helped make it happen.
It is my pleasure to first welcome you to Washington, D.C.
Former apprentice contestant Omarosa Manigault, who's joining the Trump administration.
We had a conversation, and I said, I'm going to do everything I can to help get your students here.
She arranged an interview with Fox News Channel's Bill O'Reilly.
There's an amazing pressure.
Hold on, let me see we getting into that. Yeah, that was my frat brother taking a picture of Omarosa with the beard. Shout out to PJ, man. Yeah, he was the band director there. I think Buns, who the band director of Miss.Valley State right now, I think he was the band director that year too. He went to Talladega also. So I think that's because they live. I think when he left Stillman, he went to Talladega, and PJ with William that year. And so I think that's when Bun was there. So I believe that's why they're trying to bring him back, because he's the band director at Miss.Valley State. So let's finish it out. And shout out to the guy name, man. Appreciate the video. Well, shout out to Buddy right here. Appreciate the video, man. So let's get back into it.
Sure. Being put upon people not to perform at the inauguration, and many have buckled, but not Talladega.
O'Reilly asked his viewers to raise money to fund the band's journey to our nation's capital. Donations poured in. The total so far, a whopping $650,000. The band left Alabama on Wednesday at 2 p.m.
We're on one of the 6 buses carrying the Talladega Marching Tornadoes.
$650,000. I wonder how much that is now. Cause that was what 7, 8 years ago. That's good. Shoot, what the hell? The way housing prices went up. If you bought a house for $650,000 7 years ago, right now it'd be worth well over $1 million. Just saying.
Been on these buses for about how many hours?
For 20 hours.
20 hours. You guys holding up okay?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Not really. No.
Not really.
And we were there when they arrived Thursday morning. Despite the long journey, the kids were in good spirits.
We're honored to be able to be here.
Even before checking into their hotels, the band members checked their instruments for any damages on the long trip up north. Sounds good to us. Now it's time to strike up the band.
So, like I said, that story was about 7, 8 years ago. Here's the thing about that story. People were upset, just like they are now. We're about to read it here in just a second. On that HBCU school went to Donald Trump's inauguration. The question is, what has Donald Trump done to you so bad to where you would deny your children the right or the privilege, let's say that, to go and perform at a presidential inauguration? Now, I will say again that I'm probably one of the most pro-Black people you will ever meet. Been this way since high school. But I understand reality. I understand the reality in this country. People always want to protest about racism and bigotry and this, that, and the third, but yet everything you do, there's some racism involved in it, whether you want to admit it or not. For instance, remember when, what was it, Colin Kaepernick kneeled because of police brutality and this, that, and the third, and everybody talking about boycotting the NFL. People back watching the NFL now. And I sat there and said for sure that, and I stopped watching the NFL for a minute. Now I just don't watch sports really because I don't have time. But I mean, if I can catch a game, glimpse it, I will sit down and watch it because I'm like this here. Dude, everybody talk about this racism in this country, but don't nobody really protest racism, because if you did, you would do more for yourself and not do as much as you do for them folk. For instance, you work for companies that you know ain't trying to pay you, you know what I'm saying, and really don't value your time, effort, and the energy you put in, probably look at you a certain way because of your skin, because period. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, there are a lot of companies out there. People want to buy these Birkin bags and these Louis bags and buy all this luxury stuff. And these folks have shown and have documented that they don't want you in their stores, but yet you still find a way to spend money on their products. You work for people. You buy things from people, from companies who will not let your people be a part of the distribution, the manufacturing, the textile industries. They will not let Black folks in those, you know what I'm saying, in those fields. But they'll let you buy products from them in order to open up your store, to where you have to charge a higher price to your people because they won't let you be the top person. You know what I'm saying? You can't create anything. You can't do anything. But you want to holler racism. Before I get too deep, let's go to this Atlanta Black Star, because I just love to see what our people say. And it says, get someone else to do it. Miss.Valley State, this is updated now for Miss.Valley State. Miss.Valley State marching band ridiculed after desperate plea to help raise $350,000 to perform at Donald Trump's inauguration parade. The Miss.Valley State University marching band is under fire from HBCU supporters on social media for requesting donations to fund a trip to the nation's capital next month after being invited to perform on Donald Trump's presidential inauguration parade. Reports say Trump personally invited the Mean Green marching machine to perform in Washington, D.C. on January 20th, when he will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. However, the president-elect didn't send any money to help with the travel, cost, food, gas, or hotel stay. And people are surprised about that, but I'm going to explain something to y'all here in just a second. Still, the school shared the exciting news on social media, with Dr. Gerald Briggs, president of Miss.Valley State, saying, "This is not just a moment of pride for our university, but for the entire state of Mississippi. It's an opportunity to showcase our legacy, celebrate our culture, and invest in the future leaders of our community." Let's see, there goes some of the band people. The engagement might have gone unnoticed if not for the band's appeal for $350,000 in public donations, which ignited a firestorm of criticism online, most likely from broke people who are haters, emotional people. And we're going to explain in a minute. With many calling the fundraiser thirsty and asking.
Hold on, let me explain what he explained. See, there's one thing about it. I was gonna say something at the end. I'm still gonna say it at the end too. But I'll just say like this: Talladega College. That's I say about 45 minutes away from where I'm at right now in Alabama. And, at that time when Donald Trump became president, that kind of opened them up, to see, so they can be seen. Because, Talladega they got a basketball team, but they don't have a football team. So, that was a good thing for that band to go there and be exposed. Same way with Mississippi Valley State. And I believe the band director of Mississippi Valley State, Miguel Buns, I know him because, he was my band director at Stedman College when I was there. But I believe he was at Talladega that year. And they wanted him to come up there, and they look in 2025 they want him the Mississippi Valley State band to go, and guess who the band director did? Miguel Buns. So I believe shout out to him too, because he's a great band director, man. He great. He from New Orleans. He graduated from Southern. Great band director, man. I never take that from him. But yeah, man, they should help them out, man. But it's gonna eventually. I mean, the inauguration on the 20th, so I don't know how much they got right now. So we're gonna see. But let him keep on cooking.
And why Trump isn't footing the bill himself if the band's attendance at the event is so important to him. Help us raise $350,000 to go. Y'all don't even have the money to go. LOL. He's not paying y'all. Are y'all slow? I have so many questions. What is one of the questions you need to have is 2 + 2 4? Because it's very simple, man. One person wrote on Instagram echoing the backlash. Let me explain something to this person on Instagram. I should have clicked on the other link because the other link actually had the Instagram. But anyway, so I can see it for myself. Y'all are tripping on this. Why? Is it because Donald Trump and Elon Musk got money, or is it because they're white, or because they're racist, or because they're Klansmen, or because you broke, or got a broke mindset? Which one is it? You, as my daughter would say, you got to pick a struggle. You can't have both.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day 1, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day 2, he realizes how clean and clutter-free his browsing experience has been since he got Pi. He doesn't have to deal with annoying cookie pop-ups or targeted ads. Day 3, he can finally binge YouTube and Twitch without interruption because Pi works on every website you visit on Chrome. Day 4, he discovers that when he does see ads,
I have coached, I guess you can call it AAU. No, I did not AAU basketball, but I know I've coached softball teams where we were in tournaments. You sign up for tournaments. You go to tournaments. I have been a part of practices with young boys who play football in these leagues, these local leagues. And these kids, elementary, junior high, high school, no, really junior high, they win these championships and then they get invited to play in Florida, to go to Florida and play. Been part of tournaments to where you can go play in a tournament. If you win, a certain amount of games in your regional league, we're talking about softball, in your region, and you just the top dog, you will be invited to play in tournaments across the nation. You can sign up for tournaments in Florida, and there's a big one in Las Vegas, California. These are say softball, even volleyball tournaments I know of. Or one of the grandkids, say teams, they want to try to get invited to be invited to these tournaments. You get to go to these tournaments. These tournaments can send out an invite for you to play. They're not paying for you to play.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what y'all parents will do? You'll go out here and have bake sales. You'll go door to door selling candy. You'll try to sell these cards for your sons and daughters to take a trip clear across the country to get their butt beat by these teams who ain't playing, by these teams who got these big monsters on their squad. I've seen volleyball. I've been to volleyball tournaments where the grandbaby is playing and she's short, short in stature. And you go and see these teams, and these cats these girls are the same age, and every last one of them is 6 foot and taller. And you're like, oh my God. And you pay for this. You will pay for your child to play in tournaments where they will do nothing. They may win. You pay for them to play in these leagues, to play on these teams. You get invited, you go to try out and say, okay, you made it. Now you got to pay this money. You ain't saying, well, hey, my child is great. Why you ain't playing for it? I mean, why you ain't paying for it? You ain't telling these coaches and the people who run these teams to pay for anything. You pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for your child to play on these teams. And then when they have games and tournaments, you go pay to get in. You'll pay for concessions. If they go play in the tournament out of town, you will pay for hotels. You will pay to eat there. You will not sit here and demand that these black coaches, and I can say this because I used to run teams that did this. So we are not, as coaches and administrators who run these teams, are not paying for your child to play or to do whatever. But if we did, here's the thing. People like that think Deion Sanders used to have teams where, you play for him, he paying for everything. There are teams that do that, but you know what? They run everything. They have the jerseys belong to them. Hell, I've had teams where even when you bought a jersey, you have to turn it in when you off the squad because you're renting the jersey. You're not sitting there making the people that run these teams, you're not making them pay for anything. You know what they do? They do fundraisers. They get sponsorships. Now, if you get sponsorships, scholarships, when you get sponsorships, you can get scholarships for these players to pay. For these players to play on the squad. But the people who run the teams and the people that run these tournaments are not paying for it. Money's coming from the outside. So with that being said, you got no problem taking money, paying money for your child to do that. But you got something to say about kids trying to raise money in a band to leave a state that most of them will probably never leave that state, if not maybe even the city that they're in ever in their life.
Right.
First time they can go to the nation's capital. See, here's the thing. They can go up there. They can go up there and see the Washington Monument. They can go up there and see the White House, the Capitol. They can see They can be tourists. They can probably visit another HBCU. They can
see. This thing about it, man. What people don't realize, like that's an opportunity for them kids to go somewhere and see something they never seen before. I had opportunities like that when I was in the band. I marched at Alabama A&M University when I graduated from high school in 1999, and I marched at Stillman College in 2001. So when we went places that, like stuff like that, we had to raise money. We had to raise money even in high school. We had to raise money.
See the town, they can see Washington.
We had to raise money, man. Like folks don't understand how that this is an opportunity for them kids to see something that they never seen before, but they tripping out because they're going to see Donald Trump. But if Kamala, I ain't being political on this channel, but if Kamala was president, would she pay? Well, she gave Mississippi Valley State the money for them to go to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. Y'all think about that.
Washington, D.C. at a time that they probably will never again. It's quite possible they'll never be able to afford to go to Washington, D.C. in their life. But if they can't afford it, they probably won't have time. This could be a lot of them their first trip ever outside of their school and their hometown. But y'all want to holler, right? Y'all want to holler because what? Because Trump had paid for it, and you want to call them silly? They've asked for you to raise money for them to help schools. I have made a video years ago. Now, one of my first videos I did. Now, mind you, HBCUs, let's be honest, are named after white people, white men or famous white men's wives.
Right.
Let's just be honest. And your kids go there. But you want to call it an historically black college.
He ain't lying.
They made it. The Talladega Tornadoes marching band has arrived.
He lied.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars for your child to play on these teams. To leave a state that most of them will probably never leave that state, if not maybe even the city that they're in, ever in their life. First time they can go.
But that real though, he was saying about the a lot of folks don't know that. You feel me? Said how they started up HBCU, but folks don't know that. You know, they go off the president of that first, you know, the first president of the HBCU, but he didn't build that HBCU. So come on, man. You have many of HBCUs that was made, but more of them are state funded. So that's why they got state behind it. So man, it's a rabbit hole, but don't keep cooking.
Go to the nation's capital. See, here's the thing. They can go up there. They can go up there and see the Washington Monument. They can go up there and see the White House, the Capitol. They can see They can be tourists. They can probably visit another HBCU. They can see the town. They can see Washington D.C. at a time that they probably will never again. It's quite possible they'll never be able to afford to go to Washington D.C. in their life. Whether they can't afford it, probably won't have time. This could be a lot of them their first trip ever outside of their school and their hometown. But y'all want to holler, right? Y'all want to holler because what? Because Trump had paid for it, and you want to call them silly? They've asked for you to raise money for them to help schools. I have made a video years ago. Now, one of my first videos I did. Now, mind you, HBCUs, let's be honest, are named after white people, white men or famous white men's wives. Let's just be honest. And your kids go there. But you want to call it an historically black college and university named after white folk, racist white folk in this country. You got no problem with that. Okay, fine. What I'm saying is it's all put together. When Langston University was created, in order for them to get the funding from the government to build a school, the black community had to come up with part of the money. You know what we did as black folks in Oklahoma? Church bake sales. Went around, sold stuff, did work, raised money to come up with the funds to help build Langston University. Nobody said, well, hey, since we came up with half the money, why we can't name it after a black person?
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help small businesses.
But again, you want to pick and choose when you want to holler racism. Why is that? Because it's the going thing. That's why. You don't have a individual self-thinking thought in your body. All you want to talk about is what everybody else is talking about. Oh, that's what everybody's talking about. We're finna run with it. No, man. That's not how that's supposed to work. But anyway, I did a video which explained to you how many HBCUs are in this country. How that if you don't want the money, remember Donald Trump said he was going to, sign an executive order to create funding for HBCUs, and everybody was upset, saying no, you shouldn't take money from him because he's racist. Like Joe Biden ain't. Like Joe Biden, one of his mentors was not a racist dude who was a Klan member, who was a known racist from the South. That was one of his mentors. Did a eulogy at his funeral. We ain't gonna talk about Joe Biden being racist at all. Like seriously. But anyway, all racist history. Can't talk about that. But Donald Trump, you got people like David Duke who are Klansmen. Donald Trump ain't never came with you like that. I'm just saying how people pick and choose to be. But anyway, they did a video talking about how you, as individuals, if every black person every black person who has a job in this country gave $7 to each HBCU, you can do it. There's like 100 and some HBCUs. If everybody just went, you can go in a random order. If you just win an order, what have you, alphabetical order, whatever, numeric, I don't care. And if every month, which will take, I forgot how many years, 4 or 8 years, something like that. But if everybody gave $7 to an HBCU every month for what you got, 12 times 4 is 48. So it's like 8 years, I guess. Everybody gave $7 to one HBCU every month until you reached them all. You would reach in the end, you would have given equally to every school out there, and you would have raised that. I think it was like $4 billion or something like that. I can't even remember. The video been done almost 10 years ago, probably. Well, when Donald Trump got in office, so about 8 years ago. But anyway, that by this time, you would have raised the money to make sure every HBCU has been equally funded by the people. So all you had, like 107 schools. And I'm like, shoot, why just $7? You can give $10. But you would raise that money, you would have that money, every HBCU would have been financed by the Black community.
See, man, he hitting the nail on the coffin, man. Like, he is right. If every Black person gave $7 to the HBCU every month, they would have money. But you think people gonna do that? You know, a lot of alumni do it. Some of them, and you know, the faithful ones gonna do it. But let's get back to it.
On its own. So now if they want to mess around, mess up the money, that's on, you know what I'm saying? Now you got something to say. You got a reason to talk. But I'm quite sure not a lot of y'all seen that video. I know. And so which means nobody did it, or nobody is doing it, or very few people, probably nobody done it at all. So it is what it is. But it could have been done. It still can be done. But now y'all are tripping because they want to go to the inauguration. Nobody, like I say, they're not going to pay. It's like I'm quite sure the Black schools are not the only school only organization that's been invited to an inauguration and has to pay their way.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to call other people slow. You don't know how this world works. They don't pay for that stuff. You, they invite you if you can make it. If your child can make it to an AAU tournament in Vegas or in Florida, you gonna have to come out of pocket. Your team will have to come out of pocket. Your team can be undefeated locally and win the local championship. They say, okay, now you come on out here and play against the best in the country. Y'all gonna have to pay your way. You have to pay your own way. Y'all will do that, but y'all tripping on these kids trying to go and see the nation's capital? Come on now. And showcase talent to the world? Come on now. They can learn a whole lot more. Like I said, sometimes you got to look past that petty crap. Let them kids go up there and learn something. Come back with stories they can tell, inspirations. Stories and inspirations is the word they can tell fellow classmates, tell their kids, tell their parents, say, look, this is something I was able to go here and do this.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna end with this one, but yeah, man. Like he said, man, y'all help them band out, man. They're not gonna give them no money to go there, man. It's never been like that. So whoever said that, they wrong. It never been. And I've been in the band, so I can vouch for that. I've been in the band ever since I was in the 7th grade. And I marched in high school and I marched in college. We never had somebody to pay for us unless it was a sponsor, man. But the people of the invitation bike did not pay, man. You might have some events that do that, but this is an inauguration. That's why the people for the help. But it's the next time, man, I'm gonna get with you, man. I'm out.